All right, man, peace. So, brothers, now we're coming down to the stretch run in fight week for the mega bout between Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia for Errol Spence's IBF welterweight title. And let's see what happens. They had their conference yesterday. Let's see what they have to say. Of course, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Obviously, this is an incredible opportunity for these two fighters, and I know you both have fought on big stages, in big arenas. But Errol, let's start with you. We're in Cowboys Stadium. What is this like for you to be here and know that you're just days away?
For me, I'm excited. This is a dream come true, fighting in my hometown and fighting in front of my friends and my family. So for me, this is a dream come true. I'm excited. I can't wait to put on a great performance and just, seeing Mikey Garcia face through this whole training camp just made me more focused, more hungry to put on a great performance for you guys.
Let me say this very quickly. I'm already on record as saying that I believe that Errol Spence should stop Mikey Garcia anywhere from rounds 4 to 6, maybe 7. I think that Robert Garcia, who is Mikey's chief cornerman, and also his brother, will be considering throwing in the towel by round 4 or 5. We'll see. I could be wrong. As I've already stated, I do give Mikey a fighter's chance. No pun intended. He has a fighter's chance because he's very skilled. And I've also never seen him in a fight where his opponent did not respect his power. He went into combat with Adrian Broner, who's known for having a sturdy chin, and he was able to drive Adrian back repeatedly throughout the fight. And I do believe that if you were to ask Adrian who was the best fighter that he's ever been in the ring with, he would say Mikey Garcia. Because if you remember, they asked Adrian if Pacquiao was the best fighter that he's ever been in the ring with, and he said no, really quickly. And I think that if you were to ask Adrian who's the best fighter that he's been in the ring with, he'd say Mikey Garcia. Because he went into a conniption when Pacquiao got the decision. But if you watch Adrian's fight against Mikey Garcia, when Garcia got the decision, Adrian was clapping for him. So let's not underestimate how great Mikey Garcia is. He does appear to be very basic to the casual eye. But what he does in the ring has to be esteemed by those who, are quote-unquote connoisseurs of the sport. The way that Mikey's able to attain certain angles, set his opponent up, he's certainly an excellent fighter. Do I believe that he has a chance against Errol? Yes, I do, but he's going to have to get to him early. I want to see how well Errol responds to taking shots from Mikey. The issue is that Mikey's going to have to weather the storm himself. So I give Mikey probably about a 20% chance, maybe up to 30, maybe. But Errol's certainly focused on this fight. And I think that Errol wants to make a point. I think he wants to hurt Mikey.
Mikey, yesterday at the arrivals, fans chanting your name. Did it surprise you, the turnout you had there? I mean, I know you fought in...
Why would you be surprised? They're in Texas. It's a bunch of Mexicans there. They're going to root for Mikey Garcia. Errol is not going to have the louder cheering section in that fight. And I don't think he cares. He didn't have the larger cheering section when he fought Kell Brook. And he was able to endure and dominate down the stretch. And I do think, once again, that Robert Garcia is going to have to stop the fight somewhere around round 6. But, once again, Mikey Garcia does have a fighting chance. Because, as we all know, Errol is not known for his head movement. Sometimes Errol gets a little bit too caught up in trying to hurt his opponent, and he forgets about moving his head. So maybe Mikey can catch him with something hard. We'll see. We'll see. But, I wouldn't bet on it.
Fought in Texas 9 times, but did that surprise you?
Look, it's always nice to get that welcoming, and I know I have fans everywhere, and like I said, here in Texas, it's almost like a second home. I fought here so many times. I've won 2 world titles here. I know my fans are going to show up and show me that support, and they did yesterday at the arrival. I was surprised. I thought we were going to have, a lot of Spence Jr. fans as well, and, it was predominantly all of my fans, so a very special moment for me.
Errol, obviously the storyline throughout this has been your size advantage. Do you think, despite the fact that he is bulked up, that you will be able to dictate the pace in this fight?
Size advantage won't matter. Skill for skill, talent for talent. I'm more dominant than him in everything, in every aspect. It doesn't matter. So, they can say the size, but the size won't matter. I beat him in anything he want to do. If you want to box, I'll beat him in that. If you want to fight, I'll beat him in that too. So, whatever the game plan they got going, it won't work.
You can tell Errol pissed off. He just ready to fight, and he ready to try to hurt Mikey Garcia real bad.
Thoughts on that, Mikey?
Well, that's exactly the way I feel about myself. You know, I got all the tools, all the skills needed to beat him. Like I've said, you know.
You better catch him early.
You know, I'm better than him in every other way. You know, when you come to timing, when it comes to speed, when it comes to reflex, defense, no matter what, you name it, I'm better.
You have a fighter's chance, but you're going to have to get him in the first 3 or 4 rounds, especially like the first 2 or 3 rounds. If it starts going past that, Errol's going to get stronger as the fight goes along. Mikey is not known for having fast feet. If Errol starts walking Mikey down, it's not going to look good for Mikey because he has shorter arms. So Errol basically can hit him from distance. It's just not going to look good if Mikey does not, you know, exert his will early in the fight.
Errol, do you think he has the power to knock you out?
I don't believe anybody had the power to knock me out. That's not how I think. That's not how my camp thinks. So, I mean, that's out the window if he thinks he's going to get a knockout. But I hope he try though.
I saw Errol Spence able to take flush shots from Kell Brook, so I expect him to be able to take flush shots from Mikey Garcia. But once again, and I may have stated this in another video, Errol Spence and his trainer, they better make sure that they thoroughly examine Mikey Garcia's gloves, because his trainer is Robert Garcia, and they have a history of trying to use little chicanery with the gloves.
Are you going to be trying for that, Mikey?
Look, we're here to win this fight. I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to win. You know, if I can hurt him in any of the rounds, I'm definitely going to try to stop him. You know, but I'm also prepared to go 12 rounds if that's what it takes to win this fight.
Errol, you've been the favorite in Vegas and everywhere. Most guys have been picking you, but there have been some who haven't. Guys like Sugar Ray actually chose Mikey Garcia. Tyson's a fan of Garcia. Does that bother you when you hear those legends' names, or does that not matter?
Just gonna make him angry.
No, it don't bother me at all.
Yes, it does, brother. In your head, you're saying to yourself, why are those brothers choosing Mikey Garcia over me? That's what you're thinking in your head, but you're not gonna say that on camera.
Oh, I mean, you know, they're legends. They're entitled to their own opinions.
Yes, they are entitled to their own opinion, and maybe they see something. I don't see it, but you never know. I just don't think that Mikey has. I don't think that he has the reach or the foot speed to be able to get in and out on Errol without getting hit himself. So it's going to be about who has the better punch resistance. And from what I've seen, I think that Errol will have the better punch resistance. But once again, we're going to find out. Adrian Broner was able to last 12 rounds with Mikey Garcia. And just in sparring, Errol Spence damn near knocked Adrian Broner out.
I mean, I look up to them, you know, their fights and things like that. They was great fighters and great boxers, and I respect their opinions. They think that, you know, that's their opinion. That's it.
Does that give you confidence, Mikey?
Well, it shows that, you know, it's people who have done it in the ring, the ones who are legends like Sugar Ray, you know, and they pick me, or they see me coming out with that victory. You know, it just gives me that extra motivation, you know, that I gotta prove to everybody that I got everything it takes to win this fight, you know.
Well, on the flip side, Errol's gonna be thinking, I have to prove to those guys to never pick against me ever again.
You know, against what everybody else says, whatever, you know, media expert, you know, says, they're not the ones getting in the ring. They've never been in the ring, but the ones who have, you know, will be picking me, and that's what it's about, you know. I got to go in there on Saturday night, show them why I chose to pick on this fight and why I wanted this fight. You know, I'm here to make history, and this is the fight that's going to do that for me.
You know, the IBF mandates that you guys come in for the weight check on Saturday. You can only be 10 pounds over that 147-pound limit. Errol, you will still have the whole day to eat, hydrate. What do you think you will weigh when you walk into the ring on Saturday night?
I don't know. I won't be too heavy. You know, I'm already on weight right now, so I mean the 10-pound limit won't be an issue at all, and you know, I won't get too big because I don't want to be sluggish or, you know, have extra pound on me, so I won't be too big. I don't know, probably 160.
How about you, Mikey?
I'll probably be right around where I normally walk around. You know, I'll probably come in at about 150. I don't feel that, you know, it's a good advantage for me to try to gain weight or hydrate too much.
Definitely not. I mean, you ain't but 5'1". I mean, you never had the fastest feet to begin with. So I don't see you being able to move away from Errol's punches. Mikey's going to have to confront Errol and stand his ground. And if he can confront Errol, stand his ground, make Errol miss early, and catch Errol with something hard early, that's the chance that he has. But if he tries to outbox Errol over 12 rounds, no. He's going to get stopped. And he's going to get stopped somewhere around round 6 or 7.
I don't plan on being big and huge and bulk up like that. I want to be sharp. I want to be quick, and I'm naturally not even a big guy, so it would be crazy for me to think I'm going to be, too much in weight.
Robert, really quick for you. I know you guys brought in guys like 20 pounds heavier to spar with Mikey for this camp. What did they tell you about his power and his speed?
Well, not only have all of our sparring partners told us, but all of Mikey's opponents, they've said the same thing. That until they're in the ring, they realize how strong and hard Mikey hits, and that's one thing that Errol Spence doesn't know, and he'll find out this Saturday.
I think that Mikey gonna find out how hard Errol Spence hits as well. I've never seen a fighter, at least not recently, in the welterweight division, who could affect his opponent as much as Errol Spence does with his power. I mean, fighters who normally take a hell of an ass whooping, like Lamont Peterson, Kell Brook, they visibly are shocked by the power from Errol Spence. I mean, maybe not since Tito Trinidad, and he himself has some damn loaded gloves. Have I seen a welterweight who could impact his opponent with his punching power like I see Errol Spence do?
Derek, we saw in one of the features, Errol had been up for 24 hours. He says he naturally isn't a guy who sleeps a lot more than 5 or 6 hours. Is that correct, Errol?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Is this week, do you have to kind of make him chill? Is he the kind of guy who you kind of have to make him relax in advance of the fight?
No, he's the kind of guy that he's his own man. So he knows what to do the week of the fight. He's getting his rest. He's getting everything he needs, and he's his own guy. So he knows how to run his own business, and he knows what he should be doing, what he shouldn't be doing. So he's getting enough rest, and he'll be ready for Saturday.
Errol, does it bother you that Robert and Mikey feel like they're going to win this fight? They're going to dominate? Maybe not dominate. Forgive me on that word. But do you think does it bother you that they think they're going to win this fight?
Well, what they supposed to think? What they supposed to say? We're going to lose. I just hope Errol don't kill my brother.
It don't bother me at all. I mean, that's what he's supposed to think. I mean, he's a 4 division champion for a reason. He has a great corner. They're supposed to think they're going to win. I mean, at the end of the day, they called me out, so they obviously think, they see something and they think they're going to win the fight. So it doesn't bother me. I like a fighter that's, that's as confident as I am. And, like I said in the other press conferences, I hope we keep that same energy they had outside the ring, inside the ring, too.
Yo, Errol mad as hell, boy. I hope he keep that same confidence inside the ring as outside the ring, because I'm going to lay his ass out. I'm going to put him to sleep, then I'm going to go to sleep because I'm tired.
All right, in terms of this matchup, do either one of you think that this fight goes the distance? Errol?
I don't know, but our training camp, we train for a hard 12 rounds fight. I mean, we train very hard for 12 rounds, a grueling fight. I mean, I'm not going to, psych myself out and say I'm going to get a first round, a third round knockout, and it doesn't happen. So we train for the hard fight, and if it doesn't happen and I knock him out early in that, then that's a bonus. But, in training camp, we train for the distance. We didn't just train for a 3-round, 4-round fight because, anything can happen in a fight.
Absolutely. Or he might hurt you early, and you're going to need as much conditioning as possible to be able to weather that storm early. Because, once again, brother, please remember to move your head. Because if you don't move your head, this dude can catch you. And that's one of the main chances that he has, is that you're not going to move your head and he can catch you with something hard early and wobble you.
Mike, do you think this one will go the distance?
Look, like I said, I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to win this fight. We also trained very hard. We had great sparring. We had a great camp. We can go 12 rounds. That's the limit on the fight. 12-round fight. It's a championship fight. But like I said, if I get to hurt my opponent, if I get to drop him and hurt him and possibly take him out, I'm definitely going to jump on him. We get to stop the fight early. Well, even better for me, I come home much sooner.
I'm sure that's the game plan, is to try to get the early stoppage.
Errol, who's a more technical fighter?
I am.
Is he the toughest opponent you'll have faced to date?
On paper, he is. I don't know if he's the most toughest opponent until we get in the ring, and you got to ask me after that.
I'm not even sure if I agree with that. I think that the toughest opponent on paper would have been Kell Brook, because Kell Brook actually was a 147-pounder who could fight at 160. And I'm not quite sure if Mikey has better skills than Kell Brook. It's close. Kell Brook was a hell of a task, man, and Errol passed that test with flying colors. So I'm expecting him to shine against Mikey Garcia. If Errol were to lose against Mikey, I would expect it to be by knockout.
Sure. Mikey, thoughts on that?
Well, on Saturday night he's gonna find out, you know, why I chose to fight him and why I picked this fight. Like all my other opponents, you know, they don't see anything, you know, flashy. They don't see anything special. But when they get inside the ring, then they realize that I am special in a different way.
I'm not your other opponent. Stop talking about your other opponents like I wanted to.
But you will be another opponent just on Saturday night.
What?
Mikey talking hella shit. They must have really saw something on tape or on film that they believe that they can take advantage of.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will.
Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy you've been having.
We're gonna
Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy that you've been having. Because I don't have much energy. I don't talk with much energy, but I'm going to show it in the fight. And like I said, I'm going to knock you out and put you to sleep, and then I'm going to sleep because I'm tired. I've been training. I'm tired of everything.
We're gonna find out.
I want to act out humble on here when you're in front of me, but when you're doing different interviews with Ellie and all the other stuff, you want to talk trash.
Yo, Errol Spence, he can't get over them Ellie Seckback interviews, man. I think Errol be up all night. He trained for 6 hours and then go watch Ellie Seckback and get mad. Look at this motherfucker talking shit on Ellie. Ellie asking him all these dumbass questions and then he talking shit. What's this about? Let me click on the next video.
Your dad and your brother, you want to say other things, but once you get here, you want to be humble and show a lot of respect and things like that. Nah, keep that same energy you had when you're in Cali at your gym that you have here.
Keep that same energy, because I'm going to knock you out, then I'm going to knock out your brother, then I'm going to knock out your daddy, and then I'm going to take your cowboy hat and go to a rodeo.
It's the same attitude I've always had. You know, I'm very confident in my skills, my abilities. I know what I can do. I know what I got to do on Saturday night.
Well, I think this is the most I've seen you two kind of go at it. You've been really respectful. When do you flip the switch, Errol? Is it now? A lot of guys, like Pacquiao says, when he gets in the ring, that's when the switch flips. When does it switch for you?
I mean, I don't really have a switch. I mean, I'm calm 24/7. I'm calm.
That's obvious.
I could talk to Mikey Garcia in the locker room and come out during the fight and try to knock his head off. I mean, my switch stay on. I stay on go, and I'm always ready. I'm always prepared. So, I mean, there's no switch for me. I'm naturally like this. I'm calm and things like that. I mean, I've been ready to go 8 weeks ago. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm ready for fight night. I'm pumped up. I'm really tired of doing these press conferences and seeing him. I'm ready for fight night to put on a great show and another great performance.
I'm tired about everything going on with this fight. I'm tired of looking at you with your little skinny ass. I mean, you got no ass. Here, ask me questions. I need a full-figured woman to ask me questions. I'm tired of looking at Mikey Garcia, all that damn slick in his hair. I mean, shit, I went to lean in and say something to him. I got a bunch of grease on the side of my face because of his hair. I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of his father, his granddaddy, whoever that is over there with all that white hair. I'm just mad as hell, and I'm tired.
Fair enough. Mikey, how about for you? Do you have to, does your switch flip now on fight week, or is it when it's closer to the fight?
Look, I'm naturally always pretty calm as well, but you know, I know what I got to do on fight night. I know, you know, all the work I put in, you know, for all the weeks in camp. You know, I didn't put all that time and all that effort for nothing. You know, Saturday night is the day that I got to execute. So I've always said, you know, I'm always very calm, very, very collected, but once we get inside that ring, everything does change. So
Look, once again, Mikey Garcia ain't nobody to play with. And I'm sure that Errol Spence knows that. I'm expecting this to be a very good fight for however long it lasts. I'm just not quite sure if Mikey Garcia is going to be able to put up with that power, man. That power is something special. It's something different that Errol Spence has. Like, he has some Marvin Hagler level power.
I would say, once I get inside that ring is when that switch does turn on. But I got to be calm. I got to be confident, That's just the way I am. And I'm ready to get it on now.
Do you have to fight the best fight of your life?
I definitely do have to fight the best fight of my life, If I don't, then I can't overcome the challenge, This is a huge challenge. This is a big fight. It's not easy to do what I'm doing. Not many are daring to do what I'm doing. And that's why I chose this fight. I want to make history. And in order to accomplish that, I need to fight the fight of my life. And you will see the best out of me on Saturday night.
Well, the good news is that after you get knocked out, which I believe you're going to get knocked out or stopped, all people are going to say is that you show great courage and great heart, and you can always move back down to 140 or 135.
All right, on that note, let's open it up to our members of the media here. First question.
Excuse me, question for Errol. Errol, there's a lot of great welterweights in the world, Crawford, Porter, Keith Thurman, etc. Mikey could have chosen to fight any of those. He chose to fight you. Did that become personal when he did that, or do you just look at it as this is another fight and another opponent for me?
I feel like, money-wise, legacy-wise, I'm the fight to happen. I mean, Shawn's cool, but, Shawn's not selling out anything. He fought
Shots fired.
in California. There was nobody there. So,
it's obvious that Errol is still mad that he was unable to fight Shawn Porter in this fight. That's really what he's mad about. He's mad that he has to try to make a legacy-defining fight against a lightweight that he knows that after the fight they're going to try to take credit away from him when he wanted to fight. He's mad at a lot of these so-called welterweight champions for making him wait so long, and it took a lightweight champion to have the heart to challenge him and call him out and step in the ring with him. So I'm looking forward to that Errol Spence Shawn Porter fight. And nothing against Shawn. I saw him against Ugas last week. Ugas, and I expected the fight to be very difficult because of Ugas's Cuban boxing background. But Shawn better think about retiring very soon. He took a lot of damage in that fight, and he was analyzing this press conference here, and he was stumbling over his words. There were certain portions where I could look at his face and I could see that he clearly was still suffering from some level of foggy-headedness. He's still concussed. I could tell that. He reminds me a lot of Tim Bradley. And he might want to consider trying to search out a therapist of some sort or a brain specialist, because he takes a lot of damage in his fights.
And Shawn already decided to fight his mentor because I wanted to fight Shawn. If Shawn wanted to fight, this Mike Garcia fight probably wouldn't have happened. But, he got busy trying to, take the easy way out. So,
damn, shots fired. Whew. Errol Spence, he really want that smoke with Shawn Porter.
So, I commend Mikey Garcia for taking this fight. I respect him for that.
In other words, Shawn Porter, you a bitch. And after this fight, I'm going to catch you. You and your daddy.
All right, Lance?
How you doing, Mikey? On the shuttle ride over here, we had the pleasure of sitting with Roberto Duran, and one of the things that he said is that in a toss-up fight like this, fights are not determined strictly by brute force. They can be determined by intelligence, and they usually are. How do you win this fight through intelligence?
Well, that's what I keep reminding people. You don't win a fight just by the size and the weight. That is a factor, and that's a factor that I gotta overcome. But we fight smart, we fight intelligent. Pick our shots, be very smart about how we place our feet. When, the time, a lot of things. And that's how we win this fight. I believe I'm better in every other category when it comes to footwork, timing, reflexes, defense.
Mikey's footwork used to be extremely good at the lower weights, but since he's moved up the weight classes, I just don't see his footwork being as much of a help for him as it used to be.
You name it, I believe I'm better, and I just got to execute on Saturday night.
Great, thank you. Hey, Errol, how you doing? Mikey clearly sees something in you that makes him confident that he's going to beat you. What do you think that is?
I don't know. I can't worry about that. I let my coach, figure out my flaws and the kinks in my armor, and we work on that during training camp. So, everybody sees something in somebody when they're looking for.
I agree with that. I could watch Mayweather fight, and I could even see certain things that speculatively one would think a fighter might be able to use. And most trainers have seen the same thing, especially with Floyd in the shoulder roll. And that's bringing the right hand way over the top of his left shoulder, hoping that you can land something. That's what Shane Mosley was able to do in their fight in round 2 when he almost knocked Floyd down. But I mean, what do you do when you have a fighter with that level of defense and then has a great chin? So everybody thinks that they see something until it actually occurs.
From the outside, I mean, it's a lot harder once you're inside the ring, so he'll find that outside every night.
Errol, what does this win do for your legacy?
I feel like this win makes me pound for pound #1.
Well, I disagree with that, brother. What it does is it introduces you as a pay-per-view, or at least a potential pay-per-view star. If you're able to really shine in your performance, especially against an elite Mexican fighter, you can take that Floyd Mayweather business model and hope that you can take many of his fans and they can become your fans. That's how Floyd Mayweather made himself a quote-unquote mega superstar. He fought a bunch of Mexican fighters or international fighters and was able to take their fan base. When Floyd beat Oscar, he took a lot of Oscar's fans. When he beat Ricky Hatton, that's when he started to go international. That's when the British fans became fans of Floyd, so on and so forth. So Floyd was very intelligent about it. I would liken this fight between Errol and Mikey Garcia to Floyd's fight against Arturo Gatti. That was Floyd's first performance on pay-per-view, and that was arguably the best performance of Floyd's career when you look at the moment and how pivotal it was. Now, overall, I wouldn't call it the best performance of Floyd's career, but for that night, for that particular night and how spectacular he needed to be, he was able to shine. And please keep in mind, Mikey Garcia is a far more talented and skilled fighter than Arturo Gatti was. So I'm not expecting Errol Spence to shine on that level, but with his power, he might be able to get an early stoppage. Who knows?
Mikey Garcia has a great record. He has a huge fan base, 39-0, 30 knockouts, and I feel like, this turns me into a star. I mean, everybody wants to be that mega star. Everybody's trying to take the place of Floyd Mayweather and become the face of boxing. I feel like, this takes me on the right track to become.
Well, let's start you on the right path, brother, but to be very honest with you, I'm not quite sure if you have the personality to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport. And there's no shot at you at all. You have a great personality. You have the personality that's going to allow you, hopefully, to stay out of trouble. But to become the #1 pay-per-view superstar, not quite sure about that.
To become the face of boxing and become the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
Mikey, you've said that in the past that, this wasn't your dream all along, right? But you're here now and you have new challenges ahead of you.
I remember when Mikey Garcia was talking about retiring at 29 or 30 years old and becoming a police officer. So I guess he came back to the sport after that whole issue with Bob Arum, and he just felt reinvigorated.
What do you want this to do for your legacy, and what do you think it does for your legacy?
Look, this fight, getting this victory will forever leave my name, in the history books of boxing. I'm here to create legacy. I'm here to make history.
Now, Mikey Garcia, if he wins this fight, he becomes the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. If Errol wins, I don't think so. Because Errol is expected to defeat fighters who are naturally in his weight class. If Errol defeats Keith Thurman and Shawn Porter and Terrence Crawford, then I would consider him the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport. Mikey's already won world titles in 4 different weight classes. If he wins this one, then Mikey will definitely become the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport. But Errol still has some work to do to get that title.
And this fight does that. No other fighter is doing what I'm doing. No other fighter is daring to do what I'm doing. And that's what I'm about. I'm about big challenges, big obstacles, and just to show everybody that I'm the best, I need to take on these type of fights. So this fight on Saturday night is going to do that for me.
Well, there's a lot of fans at home who maybe haven't purchased this pay-per-view. I'm going to leave it to the fighters to tell you why you should watch on Saturday night. Mikey will send you up here for some closing comments.
Well, everybody who's here, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for being here present, and all the attention is real. All the commotion, all the buzz about this fight is for real. It's not often that you get a fight like this, You know, we got two of the best pound-for-pound fighters in their prime, undefeated champions facing each other. You know, it doesn't happen often. So if you all want to witness some history, you better buy that pay-per-view. You better watch it, because this is history in the making. You know, Saturday night I will become 5-division world champion. I will dethrone Spence. I will become the new welterweight champion, and that's history. So make sure you guys watch that.
I see you smiling, Errol. I'll let you come up here and respond.
Yeah, I'm smiling because it's just funny to me. This man think he gonna take my title. I don't know how. I mean, unless he gets some oil on my gloves from his hair. I don't know how it's gonna happen.
Respond to that.
Appreciate everybody coming out. I mean, everybody should tune in to watch this fight. Like you said, we're both undefeated. He's 39-0. I'm 24-0, 21 knockouts. He has 30 knockouts. He's a...
Let me say this. I don't think that Errol has ever fought a 12-round fight that went the distance. I just don't see this fight going the distance. Either way, whoever wins is probably not going to go more than 3 to 6 rounds. Somewhere in that area. 3 to 6 rounds, maybe at the most 7.
4-division champion. I have the crown. He's coming to take that crown. This is a legendary fight. This is what fighters made of. I mean, it's been a lot of fights throughout history where the little guy comes up and fights the big guy, and it's a great fight. So just like when Marvin Hagler fought Duran. So I mean, you can't never write out the little guy. What people saying, "Oh, we're gonna write out the little guy. Errol Spence is gonna win this easy." This is not gonna be an easy fight.
That's a great comparison, that Marvin Hagler and Duran fight, because Errol does fight a lot like Marvin Hagler. I won't say that Mikey Garcia necessarily fights too much like Duran. Duran was faster than Mikey, but that's a pretty accurate comparison.
This is going to be a hard fight. This is going to be a legendary fight. You got 2 top pound-for-pound fighters fighting, and everybody need to order this fight on pay-per-view. Or if you can come to the AT&T Stadium and watch your hometown kid take on a great champion like Mikey Garcia. He really thinks he's going to take this title and take it back to California. It's not happening. I feel like I am the best fighter in the world. I know I'm the best fighter in the world, and we're going to show it come Saturday night. You know, they've been real cocky, talking a lot of crap, him and his brothers. And we're going to put on a great show and a great performance. It will be a one-sided massacre, I promise you that. And I'm going to punish him. He's going to wish he took his brother's advice not to take this fight.
Damn. He went there with it. And that's true. Mikey Garcia's trainer, Robert Garcia, told him, do not take this fight. Now all of a sudden they talking shit about how Mikey's going to be as strong as Errol and he's going to be as this is Errol. If y'all really believe that, you would never have advised Mikey to not take the fight.
Thank you.
Where are they at mentally right now?
I think, looking at Errol, he looks like he's ready to go. He looks like he's done talking, which is where you want to be at this point in the fight week, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Nothing left to be said.
You compared this one to, Hagler fighting Duran. Are we in for a legendary fight in that sense, do you think? Is it?
Well, what's interesting, of all the fights between, the so-called top 4 fighters of that era, Leonard, Hearns, Hagler, Duran, the Hagler-Duran fight is probably the fight that people talk about the least because it went 15 rounds and it was kind of a chess match. I don't see Errol letting this fight turn into a chess match.
I think it's definitely going to be a fight that people are going to remember for a long time. What I really got out of this press conference is, Errol Spence, I call him Cool Breeze. Because my man, he's just cool, man. He's just, yeah, man, we're going to fight hard. We're going to do our job. He's always just laid back. Mikey got under his skin. Somewhere along the way, but whatever Mikey's been saying got under his skin. Mm-hmm. That's the first time I've seen a little bit of an angry pulse from Errol.
Right, but what makes you think that's a good thing for Mikey Garcia? Errol Spence might be one of those fighters or one of those athletes who gets better when he gets upset. There are certain athletes like that, where they get angry and they actually get better. Muhammad Ali was like that. Michael Jordan was like that. Now we know those are the creme de la creme of athletes over the last 100+ years. Is Errol Spence one of those guys? We'll see. But I don't think that it was a good thing that, at least for Mikey Garcia, that Errol Spence was so perturbed.
So Mikey's done his job by already getting under his skin. Let's just hope he can do the rest of the job in the ring. And Errol's looking to put on the performance of his life.
Errol as well, we're really playing down the size advantage that he has, saying it's going to be skill for skill, talent for talent. Who has the better boxing pedigree coming into this one?
It's a lock. It's dead even to me, you know.
Well, I can't quite call it dead even because the fact of the matter is that Errol Spence has shown that he can be a borderline dominant fighter on the amateur international circuit, which is mostly point fighting or point scoring. So it's not even like he's somebody who just counts on his power, because in the amateurs, there are not as many knockouts as in the pros because of the headgear and things of that nature. So Errol has shown that his amateur pedigree is greater than Mikey's. He was much more successful on the amateur circuit than Mikey was. So I would think that Errol would be considered the more well-crafted fighter.
Errol Spence is a bronze medalist in the Olympic Games 2012. Mikey Garcia, 39 fights, turned pro at the age of 18. The lineage throughout his family, he's seen world champions right home, living with them right at home, you know. So it's really hard to say. And they both continue to say it. They collectively, each one of them says, we're the same. I'm just a little bit better than this guy at everything. And I agree with that 100%.
I mean, Shawn, we have to ask you as well. Errol had a bit of a pop at you there on stage.
Yeah, he sure did. A bit of a pop. No, that's an understatement. He called that dude out. Basically called him a punk.
Saying that, you know, why is he facing Mikey?
Listen, so he gets on the stage. I'm like, all right, he looks like he's ready to fight. He doesn't want to talk anymore. And then out of nowhere, he starts talking about me. I think he's talking about me because I'm the last thing that he saw on TV.
Well, that's part of it. He's also talking about you because after your previous fight, before your last fight, he got in the ring and challenged you to make him your next opponent. And you and your father claimed that y'all would do so, and you went back on your word and you fought Ugas. So that's really what he's upset about. Because who else is he going to fight? Terrence Crawford is on the other side of the fence. And Keith Thurman, if the wind blows too hard, this dude gets a broke collarbone. So Errol's trying to figure out, how do I get all these belts when these guys keep running from me? That's what's going on in his head.
And I'm who he sees right now. He could have chose to talk about Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, Terrence Crawford. Those guys were named as well. But he chose to talk about me. And I'm telling. Also understand something, Shawn. You have the WBC belt. That's the belt that all the fighters want. You got that green belt. I'm telling you right now, even if he were to lose to Mikey Garcia, that would be something, first off, that would be something special that Mikey would have done Saturday night. But I still would want to fight Errol Spence because of what he's done so far in his career.
Allegedly.
I think he's the one for me. He's the next one for me.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, bro. Look, nothing against you, brother. You've had a great career. You're a two-time welterweight champion. Errol Spence will end your career, brother. He will end your career. I mean, he's the real life Clubber Lang for you, man. And I just don't see you having the skills to be able to overcome what he's going to bring to the table. Because if Ugas was able to hurt you like that, Errol Spence, oh man. Whew.
Go. Has that switched things for you? Now you definitely want him. He never heard you. He named him amongst others. He didn't say that's the next one for me.
It's been three names: Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, and Errol Spence. And I'm telling you, if these two guys fight and Errol Spence doesn't win, he's still the next guy for me. It does not all of a sudden become Mikey Garcia. It's still Errol Spence.
Well, it's already lined up for Errol Spence to be your next fight, Shawn Porter. We know that because your current fights were scheduled so close. There's a reason why you fought last week and Errol Spence is fighting this week. Is because they're trying to line it up so that you guys can fight each other next. They want Keith Thurman to fight Pacquiao next, and they want you to fight Errol next. And then whoever wins those fights will fight each other. And then hopefully they'll get a chance to fight Terrence Crawford, assuming that he still has the belt.
Sounds good to me. I signed up for that one.
Let me also say this is going to be a great fight. We are in Jerry's world for a reason.
Yeah, that's first Saturday night. We have a huge one coming up for you.
Yes, I agree. I think that it's going to be a great fight while it lasts. We'll see what happens, brothers. As of right now, I have Errol Spence by stoppage or knockout, anywhere from 4 to 6 rounds. I give Mikey Garcia about a 25 to 30% chance, which is very high. I have a high degree of respect for Mikey Garcia. I've been watching him since he was fighting at 126, 122, wherever he started off at. And he's always been an exemplary fighter. So I give him a lot of kudos for stepping up to the challenge of fighting Errol Spence. So I do give him a fighter's chance. If he does win, if Mikey does win, it's going to be by early stoppage, second round, third round, somewhere around there, if he catches Errol with something clean and flush. But anyway, peace.